Hello, hello, hello. So my notifications did go out. Yay! So hopefully people have gotten notified that I'm on. I know some people haven't. So blessings, everybody, and thank you so much for joining me this morning. And if you are on YouTube, please like and subscribe on my YouTube page. I'm trying to build it up. I really am. I'm trying to build it up. So hopefully one day it'll just like explode. So one of the things, I was at a beautiful market last night by with Andrea Jones. She put that on, and it was a really fabulous market. It was one of the nicest energy markets I've been to in a long time. And this market is put on by Pagan Spirit Events. And she has another one that's going to be coming on in December 3rd. And it is the new moon markets. That's what they're called. The next one is December 3rd. And it's already been sold out with the vendors. So it's in the Southwest at Roscare. I can't even pronounce the name of the place. But it was a very nice energy for it. And what I loved about it, it was feeling like a lot of times when you go to market, sometimes there's a lot of backstabbing and people chit-chatting, and this was harmonious, and that's what I really love. It reminded me of years ago when I used to do markets, and just bringing in that community again, which is important. Community is such an important piece, especially as we are moving forward with a lot of the energies that are coming forth for us as a collective. It is coming in and having us really look at what, how we can connect with other people. Because October and November, as I've said, are going to be massive months. They are the credendo of the year. There's several indications of this. There's the Saturn-Uranus square, which I've talked about infinitely, and we also are running, we've talked and added a lot of information about that, but this energy that's coming forward, and especially as we are going towards this new moon, which is on October 9th. I had to think about that. It's going to be a really powerful moon. Now we are coming into into eclipse seasons. The eclipses are coming. So we're coming into the eclipse season, which will be the Taurus Scorpio. And that's because that's where the nodes are. So this moon that we are going to be having on July 9th, which is the Aries full moon, it is bringing in some powerhouse of energy for us to activate some real positive force for us to manifest. And so now we're having this buildup of it. And so Mercury's going to be going forward. This week we have Pluto that's going to be going forward. So we have an energy of forward motion. So we're going to go from 6 planets to 5 planets to 4 planets retrograde, right? So we're able to really begin to really look at what it is that we want to create. Now, the first few days of October and the first 11 days, you could, this energy in October is very, it's very powerful. And it may be having you feeling, in a lot of different ways right now. So there's a lot of different sort of, especially with the degrees of the planets at this time. So there's a lot of this energy that's coming in, and you can be feeling very swayed in many different ways. And we do have a Neptune Mercury opposition right now. So with that opposition, that could get you really feeling a little bit dreamy, out of sorts, trying to get your energy going, trying to get forward. There is Mars trying to push forward because Mars is not retrograde as yet. It's still, it will be coming to its shadow phase in the next couple weeks. But until then, we have an energy of motion to go forward. And one of the biggest parts of all of this energy is our heart. And that was coming up yesterday at the market when I was doing readings. It was the heart energy. Now, the heart has 40,000 neurons in it. It is known as the little brain. It is our intuitive part. The heart picks up things before our head does. It knows things. And this is where, when I tell you to put your hands on your heart, that's what's going to lead you. Right? So this is a very powerful month that is going to have us to guide us into a new world, into a new direction. And the biggest thing is that don't leap into the propaganda, the things that are coming out. Not everything that is coming out is truth. So really, this is where you got to come back into your heart and have your guidance come in. This is where, that you're feeling it and feeling a lot of the energies and allowing for that feeling. And I know many of you out there, especially my air signs, don't like to feel. I get it. You guys don't like to feel. It's like, oh, I got to feel this. No, you got to come in and you got to drop in and you got to tune into your heart. There is a clash between the old world and the new. Okay? So this clash is coming in. So we have this clash of energy that is unfolding for us. And the clash, I just have notes on my other computer over here. That's what I'm doing. This clash is bringing forth a newness to us. So the future of centralization and decentralization and all of these things that I've talked to you over the past few years is really, this is very historical energy that's coming in of these aspects. Hi, Shar. And historically, these aspects, again, as I've mentioned before, that this is also linked to financial turbulence. So we're coming into some financial turbulence, all right? And the last time we had hard aspects like this, this is where, the last time we had it between Saturn and Uranus, it was in September and October of 2008, okay? So we are all not all of us. There are people out there that have no idea. Hi, Pippi Lou. That don't, maybe not around in 2008 or were just babies in 2008, which is really mind-blowing as well. But we all, for most of us, we all remember what happened then. And with this financial crisis, then we had an opposition with Saturn. It was an opposition between the two. Okay, this now is a square. So this square that's happening now, we have what's called, it's called a waning square. And it's the final closing square, the ending square, if you like, of this cycle. So this is coming to closure. All right. Now, sometimes when things are coming to closure, if you think of like when you're moving out of a place or you're moving things out of a place, this, then all of a sudden it's like, oh my God, I didn't realize I lived in such a pig pen. I thought I cleaned every day. But, there's things that need to be cleaned up. And therefore, we are likely to see, just like Pluto moving through the last degrees of Capricorn, it is the closing cycle and the closing cycle of the old world. That's what's unfolding. So we're coming into some closing energies, okay? And these closing cycles of the old world. So therefore, we can anticipate a lot of financial turbulence. We've already started to begin to see this. And Uranus is in Taurus until 2026. But particularly highlighted at this moment because of the square to Saturn and because of its conjunct to the North Node. So, for instance, with a space of just a few degrees or a few days, the British pound crashed. It was a 51-year low, okay? So we have, the British pound crashing. And it's recovered slightly now, but it was literally at the lowest point it's ever been in 51 years against the dollar, against the US dollar. And that happened really fast. So remember, Uranus is a very fast energy, and we are seeing a lot of turbulence on the stock market right now. And as it's Sunday today, so we're going to see, as we're coming into this week, we're going to see some really crazy things happening within the stock market and within the dollars. So just be aware that this is likely, literally likely to continue for the next couple of months. Now, Uranus, when it's conjunct in the North Node in Taurus, right? And Taurus is all about food and agriculture and all of these things that I've spoken to, is also coming to the nodal axis across the Taurus-Scorpio energy. The axis is the financial point. Scorpio is the financial, and so is Taurus. And it's about the currency and about your money in general, okay? And with this, Scorpio, the South Node, is about big money, secret money. Shh, don't tell anybody, because Scorpio has secrets. So it's coming in, and very often it's about the investments, loans, mortgages, insurance, pensions, that kind of thing, okay? And we are releasing anything that is not of our highest good at the Scorpio end. And particularly in those things, in those financial systems. So there's a lot of releasement that's happening at this time. So this is where some toxicity is around them, and Scorpio is very linked to toxicity. That can be within our bodies. It can be the chemical toxicity. It can be the toxicity of our thoughts, but here it is where it's going to be linked to the toxicity of the financial system that's coming to light around this time. And Scorpio can bring up betrayal. The thing is, when things hit Scorpio gets down to the nitty-gritty, bitty little truth of things. And there is something that we have really trusted in the past, and something revealed. So there's something that's going to be revealed that can really make us lose trust very rapidly and radically. So we are going to see a lot of this. We're going to be seeing a lot of this happening, and absolutely that we expect to see within the astrology. And this time, it's part of the credendo. So we are going to be having to really look at, and this is what I said to people a few weeks ago. I said, within the astrology, I'm going to be talking a lot about money. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not somebody who's like, oh, I know exactly how to do money and all this kind of stuff. This is where you have to look at and plan accordingly, so that the banks who are going to be under pressure, okay, the banks are under pressure right now, when it comes to, and the stock market's under pressure in big ways. And this is the end of a cycle. Now, the closing square between the Saturn and Uranus, it's also very revolutionary. So it's bringing up a lot of revolutionary energy. And for instance, if you look at what's happening in Iran, okay, people are protesting. If you look up into the Netherlands, all right, this is, there's riots and there's demonstrations. It's the entire revolution. And I mean, people of all ages, backgrounds are on the streets saying enough is enough with this regime. Enough, that is absolutely, the Uranus is the revolution. Uranus is bringing in change. Now, the other thing, especially where Pluto is just coming to right now, is the signing of the Declaration of Independence. Now, the signing of the Declaration of Independence, how revolutionary is that? That was an act of war, according to King George. So it was an act of war because they wanted change. They did not want to be part of the regime. They did not want to be under the rule of a king. I mean, somebody way across the waters telling them how to live their life, and they haven't even been there. So they had no idea what kind of life they went. They're tired of paying the taxes. Now you're having something like that in Iran right now. It's very revolutionary. People are tired of it. You know, they're tired of being told on what to do, what to wear, what to say. And the maverick that we want freedom, we want independence, clashing against Saturn. Saturn, big dude, you can't do anything against me. I'm big dude. The old order, the top down, the structure, particularly linked to the government. So this is really crystal clear to see how this is all unfolding for us. And we are living through this crazy history, right? So this is playing out for us in the world. And of course, many other examples now, you know, with the shift in the energies and that are happening. October, because we have had many planets retrograde, you know, I mean, 6 planets retrograde, which is odd. It's very odd to have, you know, that many planets retrograde, but of course we're living through such odd times that there's so many different aspects, especially in the astrology, that we've never seen. We're living through different things in our life that we've never seen or experienced before, right? And so this energy, and especially with today, October 2nd, moves direct. Yoo-hoo! So it's stationary direct, but it is a change in direction. Pluto moves stationary direct on the 8th, okay? And later in the month, Saturn moves. So we got this energy. We're starting to move, right? So we're starting to move in a new direction, okay? So this is all really fabulous things. Now, Saturn goes direct on the 23rd. Pluto will continue to move direct, pushing forward until March, okay, next year. When they change signs, Saturn changes signs and moves from Aquarius into Pluto, into Pisces. Pluto moves from Capricorn into Aquarius. Okay, and that's in March of next year. So we are now kind of barreling down to the next point, which is going to be on March 23rd with a big change. So we are coming into some really heavy duty change in energy. But the big acceleration or accelerated collapse of the old order is the next 2 to 3 months. And I personally believe it's going to accelerate a breakdown to break through. So the purpose is to remember the bigger picture. Remember the bigger picture of this all and the biggest evolutionary jump that we are having ever. Okay? So it's so important for us to hang on to that as we are coming through this jump and this leap. And humanity, I believe in any of our lifetimes, that's how big it is. So remember that whatever discomfort or challenges we are going through, keep your eye on the bigger picture. So remember, as I explained, you know, the chopping block has the chopping block. Don't focus on the block. Focus on where your hand is going to be. Focus on the outcome. Okay, that is what we need to really look at. And as we do this, this is where we are coming through great breakthroughs, right? And as we are doing this, I'm getting all excited here. I'm going faster than my notes are. Pluto stays 26 degrees of Capricorn all month and is drilling down at a single degree. And when an outer planet like Pluto changes signs and change direction, they are like a big, huge ship liner, right? and they move more and more slowly until they become stationary on there, and then they gradually move in the opposite direction. So the symbolism is always magnified around the time within a week. So the either side. So we have planets angles are at 25 to 27 degrees. And any degree of a cardinal sign, okay, so that's Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, you're going to feel intensity or control, I suggest, in some areas of your life. If you don't know what I'm talking about, okay, you can book an appointment with me and we can go over your chart, okay? So, or you can go online. There's many places for you to go online so that you can see where those degrees will be in your chart, okay? So this is going to get to to this energy, and I feel like this is probably going to be, I'm going to be doing another video on this. So for our astrology journey. So Pluto and the intensity of this, Pluto, we're very likely to play out on the world stage. So we're going to see this playing out. The assertion of power, the power assertion from the leaders or the governments around the world. They are going to be assertive. They are wanting to keep their power. They're wanting to keep their control. And we're going to see it. We're going to see this playing out, right? So don't be surprised if you see this, and really through the whole period. And I want you to be very aware and discerning, okay, with everything of what is true and what is not. And again, I'm going to get into that in a little bit more detail here. And with this full moon that's coming up, right? So we have this full moon that is approaching. This is a buildup of all of this power that, and we're also entering into eclipse season because we have a solar eclipse on the 25th of this month as well. So we have a total lunar eclipse on the November 8th, and bringing permanent changes, and they are extremely likely to be in the financial area. So in many respects, know that the purpose of that alert could be quite messy. Okay, things are going to be messy. All right, they got to get messy. So if you've ever cleaned, if you've ever done any deep dive cleaning, things get messy before they get better, before you could see, what's underneath that mess. So things are going to get a little bit messy before they get better. So let us, just, look at this energy that's going to be coming in. And as we do this, we need to focus on where the planets are sitting and their aspects of it, and this full moon that's coming in. Now, this full moon, and I'm stressing that the energies of this full moon are going to be very powerful. This is, again, a very good manifesting energy because it's a forward motion energy at this time for us. And this moon on October 9th is going to be at 1:54 p.m. Pacific Standard Time on the 9th, okay? And it's going to be in Aries. Now, Aries is warrior sign. It is a sign about courage. It's about bravery. It's about pioneering spirit. Remember, if you are here on Earth, you are pioneering the new Earth. You are here to create something new. Now, with that pioneering spirit, this is that our soul contract shows you are a pioneer for newer, and just think of the legacy that is going to be, and be sure to be proud of yourself as you look back on this period. So you're thinking of your actions in the way that you are moving forward, okay? To create a newer and very aware, and be very aware that you are creating a legacy. okay, as a pioneer, and that might help to reframe what we are doing right now. So Aries is also resilience. It's a resilient sign. It's a great sign for resilience. And again, I mentioned way back in January that this was going to be a year of Alice in Wonderland meets Fantasia. So it was a crazy year. Just saying. So aspects I've been talking about, like Saturn. So 1844 square to Uranus at 1805. So it is really important that this is getting really to its closest point. And the first, say, 4 to 5 days of October, which we're in right now, are going to be operating at around 18 degrees. Within about the first 11 days of October, but don't think it's over, okay? Don't think it's over, because then the energy will continue well into November, because it's kind of overlapping with the energies of the eclipses as well. So it's very revolutionary energy that we're coming into. And as I mentioned the example of Iran, we are also, I've talked about many other times with this Saturn square with Uranus. We also have the Aries is coming in. Aries. So Aries is making, Aries is, she's a goddess of chaos, and she's sort of squaring off to Pluto, and Pluto is stationary. So with this energy, we have a warrior, assertive full moon. And Pluto, the planet of power, is one of its stationary. So it magnifies everything. So we have a magnification of this energy, okay? So it's time to stay in our peace. It's time to stay in our calm. The more that we do this, the better we will be. It is so important to be able to drop into your heart at this time. So we are entering into time that we need to enter into our heart, that we need to, so that we can move in our future and put it into our future. Okay? So I've spoken many times of this clash between Aries, and she's this one who stands up for individuals. She's the one who goes for the underdog, and everybody needs to be heard, no matter. And it's inclusive society, and it fights against injustice, fights against inequality, but running up against the top-down power of Pluto. So that Saturn Uranus square and the Pluto Aries square. So we have this revolutionary energy that is coming in, and they are parallel in terms of how they are expressing this in the world. Now the moon here is conjunct, but technically conjunct Chiron. So on this full moon, so it's shining a bright light on issues of health. Health is going to be a big one, and healing. So healing around all sickness. Now remember, Chiron is also sickness as well as healing. So there's going to be an activation of a lot of things to do with healing and with health. And remember, this full moon are a combination of closures or a revolution of something that we weren't aware of before. So see where this falls in your chart. 1632 falls in your chart. And track it through. And so I see, track it through and see how this is, building up towards your full moon and your sun and moon. So, and the sun and moon being in opposition as we are building with this full moon. We also have Chiron opposing the sun, and Chiron's also opposing Venus. So we have in Libra, and this is now, Libra is one of the signs of bringing forth, the balance, bringing forth understanding. This is about law. This is about justice, right? And the other one is Sagittarius, which is about truth and accountability. So it could well be that we see some legal developments at this time related to the issues around sickness and health. So we're going to see something coming up in around that area as well. So we'll see the emergence at this time, but I think it's a very strong possibility to also the potential here to bring peace, because Aries is the sign of the warrior of war. Libra is the sign of peace. Okay, so there is a potential of some kind of peace treaty. We can only hope at this time that might be energized to become, remember, it's a co-creation, and it's our intention with the astrology to make it manifest into this world. It is nothing without us. It needs humans to co-create, to make, to create, to make it real, to make it happen. It is our power that creates the energy in this world and to help us to manifest it. So we have power right now to manifest. And now something that's very important here, and I've recently about Mars staying in Gemini until March, right? And that's for 7 months. So it's a very long time in one sign. And Mars does not like to stay very long in anybody's house. So Gemini is energized. And with Gemini energized, it's the mind, which can be very good if you're a writer working on something. There's a lot of mental energy. So for my Geminis, okay, I'm sending out a warning for my lovely little Geminis. That means Gemini, sun, moon, and rising, where you will find that your brain might be racing too much, that you might be feeling overwhelmed with all the thoughts and the information coming in, and it might feel a little bit too much. Honor yourself with this. I got you going into like a hot tub, into a bath, having showers, showering it off, bringing in a lot of the water, drinking a lot of water is going to be essential. Really looking at your gut health, so things to do with your gut health, because there's a lot of energy with your gut that's related to your brain. So really, try and focus on that area, my Geminis, because you're going to feel a lot of this energy. So I'm emphasizing again by the fact that Mars is also going to be coming in, and it's going to square Mercury again, energizing the mind. So there's a lot of energy that's going to come into the mind, and this is communication. Mercury is the ruler of communication. Gemini, again, another emphasis, and Mercury rules Gemini, is also the ruler of Virgo. So there's a lot of mind energy. So this is also might be activating people with depression, bipolar disorder, anybody who's a manic depressant, any mental disorders. I mean, this can really activate in a negative way. It can also come in a very beautiful, positive way in bringing in a lot of creation and writing and new ideas and innovations. So you have to really watch yourself and honor yourself through this as it is unfolding for you over the next couple months. So there will be a desire with Mercury and Virgo to analyze and sift and to discern. And the discernment is going to be very strong here. So you know what's true and what's not. There's an urge to dot the I's and cross the T's, okay? And I've got to get everything right. Now, this can also lead to a little bit of obsession. So you got to really watch how you're feeling with this. You got to watch. You got to continually drop into your heart. Okay, am I being obsessive? Am I overanalyzing things? I got to drop into my heart. Okay, it's so imperative that you continue to do that. All right, that's going to be a number one thing in order to help you to feel, so that you don't fall into delusions, so you don't fall into addictions. Okay. So this is going to be an important piece. So because Mercury is also going to be in an opposition with Neptune. And Mars is also in a very tightly square to Neptune. So it's like a T square, a lot of mutable energy here. This is like, I'm going to call it like the devil kite. This is also, a billiard ball kind of things. So things are going to be zinging and moving very quickly. And Mercury opposed by Neptune can be very beautiful. It can bring in imagination, can bring in creativity. It can make it very dreamy. It's not great for clarity, okay, and getting clear on things. So it can bring in a lot of fogginess with this. And Mars and Neptune combination are very good spiritual actions. So yoga, tai chi, qigong, it's a very good spiritual action energy, definitely. It can also activate a lot of propaganda and media. So information, what is the information coming out? Is this, because not everything that you're going to see is truth. Okay, so that's coming back to the discernment. That's coming back to, okay, this doesn't feel right. This doesn't feel like the truth of everything. So the mental urge to really find what's right, and that is the emphasis. Yet again, I mean, Mercury is incredibly activated in this chart, and this is because it is an aspect. Now, Mars is, suspected by Neptune. And it's also aspected by this very powerful Pluto, right? Now, Mars and Pluto, they get along. Mars and Neptune don't get along. So Mars is like, because Neptune is the spiritual one, out there. Mars wants action, wants to get going, doesn't want to get lost in the abyss. So there could be that you're really fighting to keep yourself grounded. Okay? So this is a deep to get to the truth, and we have to unearth what is really for our highest good and the energy for our highest good. So digging deep. So these urges, we've gotten to find the truth. We got to find what we need, what is that truth. So this is really extravagant energy that's going to be coming over and around us over not only the next 11 days, but over the next couple months. And we got to honor that, because things are going to get really crazy, because we also have Jupiter coming into the picture. Of course, we can't leave Zeus out, and he's going to be on a world access point. And I'll talk about that in a moment. So, and it's also opposing Mercury. Now, this is a signature of a writer, because it's a fabulous with big ideas, philosophy. This is, the big vision, the big horizon, the big dreams. All of that is a part of this, right? And a part of the future. So it will enlarge. Jupiter enlarges things. It makes it a little bit bigger and expansive. And whatever information is coming in, whatever information is coming into us, is likely to be very important for the world, because it's not only is Jupiter on the world access point at 1 degree, of Aries, but actually so is Mercury. So this is highly important of the information that you receive, okay? And trusting that energy. And looking at where these access points are in your chart. What is being activated at those degrees in your chart? What is that house? That's good. That's important, because that's what's going to be relevant to the information that's going to be coming through for you. So these are the world access points, the 0 degrees of cardinal signs. So that's Aries, Cancer, Libra, and Capricorn, within 2 degrees on either side. Okay, so 28 degrees of mutable sign, as we have here with Virgo, 2 degrees of a cardinal sign. So Mercury is also on a world access point along with Jupiter. Okay, this is going to be a monumental energy that's coming in, and still, this is going to be in an operational opposition energy. So whatever the facts and information are, it'll be there, and it's going to be on the public. It's going to be in public. So there's going to be a lot of information that's going to come out in the next little while, especially with that Jupiter opposition. We're going to hear, we're going to see, we're going to read. And even if you do not follow mainstream media, because everybody tells me they don't follow mainstream media, fine. You're still going to hear it. It's still going to come out in some way. You're going to hear it, or you're going to be in the lineup at Sobeys or somewhere, and you're going to look at the newspaper, you're going to see something, the information there. You're going to hear about it, okay? And it's imperative that you understand what's going on with the money market, because you do not want to go to the bank and you cannot access your money. That's important. You could be as spiritual as you want to be. You could be that lovely little unicorn pie in the sky person, but you want to pay for the sprinkles and the sparkles. You need the money. So money is an important piece to this, okay? And making sure that you are aware of that and the information that is coming in, okay? Do not be an ostrich. Yes, do not be an ostrich. And get this, if you're an ostrich and you want to put your head in the sand or in the dirt, guess what? The vibrations are going to come in because Uranus is in Taurus. So you might just get blown out of the water there, or out of your hole. And it will be in the public, so it's public stage. So they'll be important, but it will be hard to get what's right. So many suggestions to you is because there is such a mental energy and things can be scattered. Now you're going to hear repetitive. So remember, spells are being casted. Remember, the spell is being cast. A spell is like when you hear on this channel, or you hear over here, and you hear over here, and you hear over here, and they're repeating the same agenda all over the place. You know, okay, something's up because the spell's being cast. All right? So we need to drop into our heart, drop into our breath, drop out of the mind, which is kind of buzzing. You know, you got it. You know what I'm talking about it. And you got to come into this area, and the best judge of truth is in your heart. So you got to really start tuning in. Again, tuning into your heart, dropping into your heart. You know, and as I said, your heart has 40,000 neurons. 40,000 neurons. You know, it is the little brain. It is the one. I mean, Jung did tests on the heart. And there is a heart institute that does testing on the heart. So much better judge intuitively of truth is the heart, you know, and not the mind. So this is very assertive, big power that is going to be used. And, you know, for us, it is us to be within our discernment of our heart. So really do not think that everything you see is the truth. Everything, you know, is there. There's still some fog there, and plus we're heading into eclipse season. Eclipses eclipse things, so you can't see everything totally. So there's something in the fog, and there's still, you know, so you don't want to start leaping in the fog because you don't know where the fuck you're going, right? So this is, you know, to everything being the truth. I want to say it really loudly, you know, and for people to be up there and watching what they need, you know, really be observant to what you're looking at, and being objective. So this is being a perspective to stay calm, to stay peaceful, and because remember, in every moment, whatever the emotion you are putting out into the world, you are creating your future, and you are creating the future of the collective. So we want to get into that joy. We want to get into that peace. We want to get into that love. Gratitude. That's what I teach in Journey Club. Gratitude, gratitude, gratitude. Do your gratitudes, 3 to 5 gratitudes every single day. What are you grateful for, not only within the world, but what kind of gratitude do you have for yourself? What is that gratitude that you have for your mind, for your body, right? For your journey. You know, things like that. You got to have, you got to start your gratitude for self as well. So we're going to see a quantum entangled entanglement and your fear, your negative emotion, whatever the narrative is running, you're going to get a frequency match that is going to bounce back to you. So it's really important to stay in your peace, into your love, into your calm, to bring forth like-minded people around you. If you do not have that physically, look for them online. So this is like, this is like a radio, like we're dialing it in. Remember, I talked about this before. We're dialing in. And sometimes as you're dialing in, anybody had a transistor radio, you're dialing it, that transistor radio. And then you finally and you're, oh, this is Roger from JBA, whatever radio station. You finally tune into the radio station that you're looking for. If you're tuning into a certain vibration, let's say you're tuning into heavy metal, that's, you're going to find the heavy metal. If you're tuning into opera, you're going to find the opera. So this is like, what do you want to tune into? This is your dial. This is your radio. What do you want to tune into? Okay? And begin to tune into that energy. It's going to be imperative that you tune into that energy and that frequency that you feel right with. And as the frequency to match whatever emotion that we have recently put out, and to continue to put out, and know this is, I know we all get caught up with this really really simple principle, but we all get caught up, and we see something, and this is really happening, and I just want to say to drop into your heart, and your heart will tell you. So a lot happening here, just something else to point out as well, which is kind of like ads of to picture this, and again, this is about dropping into your heart, because things that you might be seeing or hearing will not be within your frequency or make you feel off and make you feel kind of wonky. Okay. So this dropping in is really going to help you to it. There's another thing that's in the astrology, and it's called a quintile, and it's 165-degree aspect, which again suggests that we are becoming into an aspect of obsession, and actually that we are becoming mentally obsessed about the facts and the information linked to health and sickness. Again, that's the sort of adding to the same picture, but for sure at this time. So we're going to be hearing a lot of things coming in about the health and about sickness, and how that is unfolding for us. So there's a lot of information, and that's the sort of adding, again, to that picture. And I think we are birthing a new financial system. And this is apart from that sun, that Saturn Uranus square, which we've been talking about. We also have the sun at 16 degrees will be coming into 16 degrees of Libra with this quintile. And this is going to be bringing in a lot to do with Uranus, Taurus, and the financial system. So know that as this financial system is breaking down, there is a new one being born. And it's being broke down. And this system, there's new things that are being born here within this system that are absolutely fabulous. So the old order is collapsing, and something new is being birthed here. And there's already, being born, there's people like, there's the Health Alliance. There's a Health Alliance that's being born. There's also the Food and Farming. And I know there's one in the UK. I'm not, and I think there's one out here. But there's a Food and Farming Alliance that is being birthed exactly at this time as well. And this is about having safe food for you to eat. So check out your neighborhood, because I know even where I live, there is a lot of where you can get produce and clean food and stuff like that. And either it's free or you pay just a minimal amount each month to get the fruit and vegetables for the month. So there are many different things like that that are being born and that are coming out to really work with people. So this is really like we are, just storming ahead because it's absolutely right for the time. And I mean, this is, there's so much coming in that is so spot on with the astrology that is being born at this time. The thing is, again, we're not hearing about it. This is where you have to do your due diligence, follow your intuition. And that's where, you're putting that energy out. I want to find safe and local food for my body. Help me guide me. And it'll reveal to you. You'll be on Facebook, you'll be talking to somebody, and somebody's going to bring up the information for you. So this is where, because with Saturn in Aquarius, new realistic systems, networks for long term, going forward into the future. So there's a lot with Uranus and Taurus, with new food productions, new systems of food agriculture, and very much based on community principles, okay? Because Uranus has to do with community principles. And this is where Uranus, it's just perfect expression of this astrology. So there is newness that's coming in here, and that's going to be coming together. More community gardens. We're going to, possibly see where people aren't going to be planting, digging up their front lawns and planting food. And I know some neighborhoods are saying that they don't want that. But when people need to eat, they're going to be needing it. So there is a lot of global energy, when it comes to the People's Health Alliance has gone global, and it's just exploded. I've been talking so fast and so much. So this is with everything. This is a momentous time, and that's what we need to really focus on. Is all of that momentum that's coming in, and the energy that's coming forth, and not get lost. Stay linked to like-minded people. Stay linked to groups that are going to help to promote positivity in your life. Get educated on your finances. Seriously, I know I am. I'm really looking into different things and learning, trying to learn as much as I can, because that's part of learning the new system. And when you can find really awesome people out there that are teaching some of these things in a new way, new innovative way, it's going to help you to stay, to stay in that alignment and not get swept away with the craziness that will unfold. Because through this is when greatness can be born. This is when new innovations can happen. Thinking outside of the box with, how you want to create financial abundance, right? How do you want to create that? What does that look like? What does it feel like? Maybe you want to start, looking into your own food alliances. Who can you align with that you can start creating gardens where you can start creating this? I know it's the end of a season. I know we're at the end of harvest, but there's next year, right? So this is planning ahead, looking at what you can plan. Maybe you need to look at and recycle and refurbish old wood, and looking at, okay, what do I want to refurbish here with the wood, and building planters. If things along that line. Maybe there's or learning how to build the planters, learning how to build an indoor ecosystem in your house. This is all part of that energy. So this is all part of thinking outside the box and allowing yourself to really get in there and get doing it. All right. Don't let the lackadaisical energy come in and stop you and halt you and get you into the delusions that you are unable to do it. Okay. That's going to be very important and very imperative. So my lovies, I love you so very much. If you are wanting to book a reading, get a hold of me. Go to thegurumama.com. I'm doing my readings on the weekend. So readings aren't done during the week. They're mainly done on the weekend. So Sending you all out so much love with everything. Take this off. And may the Lord and the Lady watch over and bless each and every one of you and all that you say and all that you be and all that you do. Be the spark, be the light. All right, drop into your heart. It's going to lead you to where you need to go. Call in your angels, Archangel Michael, Archangel Zadkiel, Shamuel. Shamuel is the leader and to show you along the road. And also bring in Archangel Raphael right now at this time because of the health and sickness that is going to be coming up on board and information about that. Blessed be everybody.